I knew this day would come. I don't play heavy, but I think heavy is a strong class in the right hands. And I say this because all the classes in the game require a very different mindset and skill set in order to play well. With that being said, this class needs to have certain things like good tracking, knowing what fights you can take, and being hyper aware of your surroundings. Before I continue, I don't play heavy. He is my least played class recorded on Steam. I think about 13 hours, and um, all I'm about to say is somewhat opinionated and what I think as a player. So you most likely will have an opposing view to what I think compared to what you think. I don't think that made sense. For those who don't know what tracking is, it's basically keeping your crosshair on an opponent while they move. Good tracking would mean that your crosshair can stay on them no matter where or how they move. A weapon like the minigun we can consider as a hit scan, meaning when the weapon is fired, it instantly lands where it is aimed. There's a little bit, of a bloom sort of in the idea that it's not accurate, but it will land instantly, technically speaking. And so that being said, a minigun on someone with good tracking is going to make every bullet count. Compared to some other classes, no one else has this type of tracking. Take classes such as Scout, Soldier, Demo, Engie, Spy. They all don't really need to keep their crosshair on something consistently. And Medic's the expectation since he doesn't fight. The classes that somewhat need good tracking would be Pyro and Sniper, but they don't need to have good tracking to do good. Pyro only needs to be able to track people efficiently to an extent where his M1 would just be on them. But because he's a combo class, he needs to be able to land the flicks with a flare or a shotgun. And even the M1 doesn't need to actually have good tracking anyways, because the flames function more or less in AoE. And Sniper needs to have some good tracking to aim so he can land shots while waiting for his charge to, rise up. Because if he doesn't, then he's not going to land kills. But most of the time, he can just hold an angle, land the headshot on someone who's lower HP, like a scout, and flick which requires reaction time over tracking. Heavy is actually the easiest class to take fights against because he has low mobility and all the classes do really high damage naturally. And so that makes Heavy someone who can be an easy target along with this probably bigger hitbox than most classes. However, there is an upside, his minigun and food. His gun is good close to medium range, so as long as you have good tracking, can mow down anyone near you, and I mean anything, anywhere. Flying or standing, invisible or dodging. You will most likely kill since your gun does good damage, close range. Classes like Scout, Soldier, Pyro, Demo, Engie can't kill you if they do not play it properly, such as Scout dodging, Soldier landing his rockets properly, Pyro hitting his combos, and Demo landing 3 pills or setting up stickies. By the time you almost even kill Heavy as any of those classes, he will most likely have killed you, and so now he can heal it all back up by eating food. But there are classes like Sniper and Spy who can one-shot him no matter how much HP he has, which is why he needs to be aware of his surroundings. With classes like Sniper and Spy, he needs to make sure he's not going into long hallways for snipers and always checking his back for spies. You also need to look at the sky and ground for anything coming at you, like a scout or 2 flying tanks. Like I said, Heavy is close range and is really deadly, and you need to make sure your tracking is on point so all your bullets land and kill the enemy. Heavy is a good class. He just needs some skill and understanding in order to do well. If you haven't noticed, these skills are good in other FPS games such as CS or Val. I don't play any other FPS games like R6 or literally any other FPS game. Maybe some other one, I don't know, not at the top of my head, but tracking is good for spraying on people just running. Knowing what fights to take is good so you can win rounds, and knowing your surroundings, such as where an op is, good for or where a sentinel would play. Thanks for watching. If you haven't noticed, this one's a little shorter than the others and not as in-depth as I would want it to be, but that's mostly because I don't play heavy. But I played a game before writing and thought, yeah, I think I know what I'm gonna write after popping off with 100 points. But I wish I could actually play heavy properly so that I could give you a full rundown. Because, like I said earlier, I have like 13 hours on heavy. I don't play heavy. I don't even think what I said is like something that would be good for this video. If you want my honest opinion, I feel like everything I said was relatively basic, like, for example, tracking. Like, yeah, all classes need some sort of tracking. Heavy just needs really good tracking to land more bullets. And I think everyone understands that all the classes do enough damage to probably take down a heavy. Even if the heavy has a medic up his ass, it doesn't really matter. And obviously, a heavy shouldn't go into a long hallway. And a lot of good players usually just double check for spies just by turning a 180, spraying people down, or shooting at people and then turning back around to continue on what's important. I think that's all pretty obvious, but I'm not someone who plays enough heavy to give an in-depth, video on my thoughts. I mean, like I said, this is really basic. These are my thoughts. I think, these are what I realized when I was playing heavy and I got 100 points. Either way, like I said, I don't play heavy. But yeah. Anyways, if you want to tell me something in the comments, and I definitely would love to look at it, just, I will look at the comments. If you liked the video for some reason, I guess hit the like button. And if you want to subscribe after watching this video, I suggest you go watch a different video that isn't this one that I actually put effort into, like the demo man, and for some reason everyone likes the pyro one. Why is the pyro one even at 140 views anyways? But yeah. So thanks for watching. Goodbye. Okay, one last note. I'm probably gonna take this video, this background footage that you see, and pretty much do the same thing with the demo man video. I actually enjoyed playing this game, and I thought, you know what, I'm too lazy to actually make another or play another game of TF2 for, background footage. And because I enjoyed this game, I thought, I could turn it into, like I said, the demo man I am the only one video, but that didn't get a lot of views, so who cares? I'm just gonna enjoy editing this one anyways. It's probably gonna be the same, maybe really trash. I don't know. I guess that's why it has like no views too, but who cares? Like I said earlier, hope you enjoyed. Goodbye.